Hello, this is Rabbi Michael Weiner with Rabbi's Reflections for Sunday, June the 8th, 2025. Shalom. Psalm 31, verses 1 and 2, Part 1. For the music director, a psalm of David. In you, Adonai, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. In your righteousness, deliver me. Like we've seen a lot, like in previous Psalms, for example, the Christian Bible and the Jewish Bible don't number the verses in the same way in many places. Here is another such example. Verses 1 and 2 in the Jewish Bible are mashed into verse 1 of the Christian Bible. Verse 1 of the Jewish Bible is made up of only 3 Hebrew words. Lamnatseach, meaning to the musical director, is the first word. Rabbi Trail. The word for musical director, lamnatseach, is derived from netzach, nun sadichet, which means eternally. It's used here as a high honor to indicate the worship leader who is appointed for life to lead the congregation with excellence into eternity, as he himself radiates God's presence. And the Rabbi Trail. Verse 2 includes some words which are familiar to some of us from previous studies. Psalm 31, verse 2, In you, Adonai, I have taken refuge. From chasa, chet samech he. Let me never be put to shame. From bush, bet vav shin. In your righteousness, from tzadik, tzadi daled kuf, and deliver, from palat, pe lamed tet, deliver me. Let's study the first scriptural use of each of these 4 words, and in doing so we honor the principle of first use, by which we know words have meanings, and those meanings are always connected to other uses of the same words. The first time a word is used, scripturally in our case, it gets its meaning, and it is intellectually dishonest to assign another meaning later. Chasa. Deuteronomy 32, verse 36. For Adonai will judge his people, for his servants. He will relent when he sees that strength is gone and no one is left, slave or free. He will say, Where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge? This word for refuge is used negatively near the end of Moses' great discourse. Literally, it's a place or person to flee for protection. Figuratively, it's a person in whom we can confide. This brings to mind the great testimony of Corrie ten Boom titled The Hiding Place. You can look it up on Wikipedia. Bush. Genesis 25, Genesis 2, verse 25. Please excuse me. Now both of them were naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. As it is used here for the first time, bush is also in reverse. They were not ashamed, for they had done nothing for which to be ashamed. Only through sin did shame come into the world. Also, in our subject verse, we call upon God to keep us from shame. Tzaddik. Leviticus 19:15a. You are to do no injustice in judgment. Tzaddik is a word that means God's kingdom principle of fairness. I could write a book on this alone. Now there's a thought. The world teaches fairness is equality. In other words, everyone should be equally poor. While God teaches equality is for each one of us to receive as needed from his wealth, from God's wealth, for his purposes. A person is a tzaddik when his or her thoughts align with God's righteousness. As Messianic believers, we believe there's only been one person to ever attain that standard, and his name is Yeshua. Palat. 2 Samuel 22, verse 1. David spoke to Adonai the words of this song in the day that Adonai delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. And he said, Adonai is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. The last word deliverer is palat in Hebrew. It was used by David 3 times in Psalm 18 and twice in Psalm 22. It is a word that carries within it God's promise to remove us from trouble. There are large concepts used to start Psalm 31. We'll soon see how they are further developed as our devotional study continues. Shalom, shalom.